You can feed anything into it and it's ready. It's seen it and it knows how to deal with it. My name's John Greenham, Clearlight Mastering, Hollywood, California. What does the limiter do for you? You have to get stuff to a certain level of loudness. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, if your song is not to a certain level of loudness, it's going to sound kind of weak on the situations with small speakers like your phone, headphones, earbuds. So it has to have a certain tension to it. So that's really the point about limiting, is to try and get it loud but preserve the transient information as much as possible. You kind of have to know, how far to go into it and when is loud enough. I heard that Chris Geringer, somebody sent him a song and they were asking him if he could make it louder, and he said, I think this song has reached the full potential of its ability to be loud, or something like that. That's the way it is. It's like you make as loud as you can without damaging the sort of idea of it, And I just want to talk a little bit about the H.U.M audio look-ahead limiter, which I recently had the pleasure to have in my studio. It's a fairly simple device, basically like you would use any limiter, like input, turn the input up, more limiting, less limiting. The thing that I really like about it is the sound of it. It's clean sounding, but it also has sort of a warm quality, which I really like. The limiting is very transparent, so there are no artifacts. Sometimes with other forms of limiting or clipping, you'll get comments like, oh, the kick drum at 2 minutes and 12 seconds, it's kind of clipping. But with this box, actually, it's very good at what it does. So I have it like at the end of my chain. Right before it is the LAAL alpha compressor, which also has a clipping on the output. So you can actually clip stuff a little bit and have it do less limiting in the final thing, or not, or you can have the limiter be the thing that's doing the limiting. Also, it runs into the Lavry Servitor, which I usually use like a bit of soft saturation in that. So you can decide how far you want to go into soft saturation. With this system, which I use, basically when it goes into the workstation, it's got about half a dB of headroom probably. And then you can decide if you want to add like half a dB of digital limiting, you can do that. The sort of medium loud, you can pretty much get just through the analog chain, which is kind of sort of the holy grail of that whole situation. You can feed anything into it and it's ready. It's seen it and it knows how to deal with it.
Okay.
The look-ahead aspect of it works really well, which is kind of the secret to limiting, really. The limiter has to have some idea of what's coming. It's brilliant. A lot of interesting gear coming out of Poland these days, I think. I was very happy to see when it appeared in my feed. I looked at it and I was like, okay, I need to check that thing out. It's not like any trick to it or anything. It just does what it does. They've got it right.
Okay.